Men don't always say what they feel, especially when the feelings are intense. Instead of admitting it, they cover it up, hide behind logic, or distract themselves with work, friends, or silence. But here's the paradox. The stronger the emotion, the more likely he is to bury it. Why? Because admitting you're someone's weakness feels like surrender. And for many men, surrender is terrifying. The psychology of hidden attraction. Attraction isn't just about what you see on the surface. It's a psychological storm happening underneath. Tiny slips in behavior, unconscious signals, moments when his guard drops and the truth leaks through. These are the silent signs that reveal what words never could. If you've ever wondered why a man acts nervous, hot and cold, or strangely protective around you, it's not confusion. It's hidden attraction trying to stay hidden. And once you learn how to recognize these signs, you'll see the truth he's been trying to keep from you all along. Because no matter how carefully he hides it, his actions will always betray his heart. Sign 1. He gets nervous around you. One of the clearest signs that you're his weakness, even if he won't admit it, is how nervous he gets when you're around. A man who doesn't care will act naturally, but a man who sees you as someone significant will feel the pressure of wanting to make the right impression. And that pressure shows up in small, involuntary ways he can't control. You might notice he fidgets with objects in his hands, taps his foot, or adjusts his clothing more than usual. His voice might crack slightly, or he might stumble over words he would normally say with ease. Even something as simple as maintaining eye contact can suddenly feel like a challenge for him. These aren't signs of weakness and confidence. They're signs of emotional intensity. When someone matters to us, our nervous system responds automatically, raising our heart rate, making our palms sweaty, or even causing us to blush. What makes this so revealing is that his nervousness doesn't show up with everyone else. Around others, he might seem calm, composed, or even charming, but with you, that composure slips. Psychology explains this through arousal of the sympathetic nervous system, the body's fight or flight response. Except in this case, it's not danger that's triggering him, it's attraction. And here's the important part. Nervousness isn't a sign of disinterest. It's the opposite. It means your presence matters enough to disrupt his normal sense of control. He's not nervous because you make him uncomfortable. He's nervous because deep down, he knows you have the power to affect him more than anyone else. So if you notice his calm exterior turning into restless energy whenever you're near, don't mistake it for awkwardness. See it for what it truly is, one of the strongest signals that you've become his unspoken weakness. Sign 2. He remembers the small things. When a man sees you as his weakness, his mind starts working in ways even he doesn't fully understand. One of the most telling signs is how well he remembers the little details about you. Not just the big obvious things like your birthday or your favorite color, but the tiny pieces of information you may have mentioned only once in passing. Maybe you casually told him about your favorite childhood snack, and weeks later he brings it up as if it's stuck in his memory. Maybe you mentioned a stressful day at work, and the next time he sees you, he asks how that project turned out. These aren't rehearsed moves to impress you. They're subconscious markers of your significance in his world. Psychology explains that when someone becomes emotionally important to us, our brain flags their words and actions as high priority. That's why he remembers things about you that others overlook. His mind is constantly linking you to his experiences, storing details without effort, because you've become emotionally charged in his memory system. And here's what makes it so powerful. He might not even realize he's doing it. To him, it feels natural, but to you, it's proof. Proof that you've crossed from being just another person into someone his mind can't help but hold on to. So if you notice that he remembers the little things you didn't expect him to recall, take it as more than kindness. It's one of the clearest signs that you've become the one person who matters enough to occupy his thoughts long after the conversation ends. Sign 3. His body language exposes him. Words can lie, but the body almost never does. When someone is secretly drawn to you, their body language becomes the giveaway, no matter how hard they try to hide it. Think about it. Attraction is a physical and emotional response, and it leaks through in subtle ways. Notice the way his posture shifts when you walk into the room. He might straighten his back, adjust his shirt, or suddenly look more alert. These small, unconscious movements are signs that he wants to look his best around you without even realizing it. Pay attention to his eyes. If he holds your gaze a second longer than usual, or if you catch him glancing at you and quickly looking away, it's not random. It's instinctive. Eye contact creates a powerful emotional connection, and when he's attracted to you, he won't be able to resist those extra glances. Another revealing clue is how he mirrors your movements. If you take a sip of your drink, he might do the same. If you lean in, he subtly follows. This mirroring is a psychological sign of deep rapport. His body naturally aligns with yours because he feels connected to you. And then there's the nervous energy. Maybe his hands fidget, maybe his voice cracks slightly, or maybe he laughs more than usual around you. These aren't signs of weakness. They're signs of someone fighting to contain emotions that are louder than words. So while he may try to keep his feelings under wraps, his body is speaking the truth. If you know how to read it, you'll realize he's revealing far more than he thinks. Sign 4. He looks for excuses to be near you. When someone secretly likes you, distance becomes uncomfortable. He'll find reasons, big or small, to place himself within your orbit. At first, it might look casual, but the pattern is too consistent to ignore. Maybe he always ends up in the same group conversations as you, even when he didn't start there. Maybe he chooses the seat right across from you, or just close enough to make eye contact feel natural. He might even accidentally run into you in places he knows you'll be, like grabbing coffee at the same shop or showing up early to events you attend. These aren't coincidences. They're calculated but subtle moves to stay within your space, while still keeping it safe enough to avoid suspicion. Proximity is one of the strongest signals of attraction. The closer someone positions themselves, the more they crave connection. It's not just about being physically near, though. He'll also create excuses to engage with you. Maybe he asks a question he already knows the answer to, just so he can hear your voice. Or he volunteers to help you with something simple, not because you truly need the help, but because it gives him a chance to interact with you a little longer. The truth is, people rarely invest time and effort in being around someone unless they feel a strong pull. His presence, his attention, and his willingness to place himself in your path are all subtle admissions of his feelings. So if you notice that he always seems to appear where you are, don't brush it off. Chances are it's not an accident. It's his heart pulling him closer, even if his words never say it out loud. Sign 5. He gets jealous without saying it. Jealousy is one of the strongest indicators of hidden attraction, and it often slips through even when someone is trying to stay composed. If he secretly sees you as more than a friend, you'll notice subtle changes in his energy whenever another person has your attention. It might not be obvious. He won't always admit it outright or act possessive. Instead, it shows in the small, quiet reactions. Maybe his tone shifts slightly when you mention another guy's name. Maybe he grows unusually quiet when you're laughing with someone else. Or maybe he suddenly finds a way to insert himself into the conversation, as if to reestablish his place in your world. These reactions are not about control. They're about fear, the fear of losing the unspoken connection he feels with you. Jealousy reveals how much you matter to him, because if you were just another friend, he wouldn't care who else had your attention. Sometimes it comes out through humor, like a sarcastic comment about the person you're talking to. Other times it's less playful, a flash of irritation, or a quick change in mood that he tries to hide. What matters isn't the intensity of the reaction, but the consistency. If every time someone else steps into your space his energy shifts, that's a clear sign you've touched something deeper inside him. When a man feels jealous but tries to keep it hidden, it shows he hasn't found the courage to fully reveal his feelings. But his silence speaks louder than words. His subtle jealousy is proof that he sees you as more than just a casual part of his life. You've become someone he can't ignore. Sign 6. He opens up in unexpected moments. One of the clearest signs you become a man's weakness is when he lets his guard down in moments he didn't plan to. Men are often taught to keep their emotions locked away, to stay composed and in control. But when you matter to him, cracks begin to show in that armor. You might notice it in small, almost accidental ways. Maybe he shares a personal story that he usually keeps to himself. Maybe he confides in you about something that's been weighing on his mind, even though he rarely talks about it with others. Or maybe in a quiet moment, he simply admits a fear, a dream, or a regret that reveals his deeper self. These are not rehearsed conversations. They're slips of authenticity. It's as if being around you makes him feel safe enough to be vulnerable, even if only for a moment. And that vulnerability is a powerful indicator. You're not just someone he enjoys spending time with. You're someone who touches his core. Watch for those moments when his tone softens, when his eyes reveal a depth he doesn't usually show, or when he shares thoughts that catch you off guard. These are glimpses into his inner world, and he wouldn't risk exposing them unless you held a special place in his life. When a man opens up in unexpected ways, he's giving you more than words. He's giving you trust. And trust is something men don't hand out lightly. It's a clear, undeniable sign that you've become his weakness. Not because you make him weak, but because you make him feel safe enough to be real. Final message. You're his weakness. At the end of it all, the signs aren't random. They point to one truth. You've become his weakness. Not in a way that diminishes him, but in a way that strips away the walls he's built to protect himself. Around you, his composure falters. His thoughts drift back to you, even when he tries to push them away. His emotions betray him, leaking out in nervous gestures, lingering looks, or unexpected words he never planned to share. You've become the person who stirs his equilibrium, the one who makes him feel alive and unsettled all at once. And that is rare. Most people will never reach this depth in another person's life. Understand this. Being someone's weakness doesn't mean you hold power over them. It means you matter in a way no one else does. You've become unforgettable, not because you tried, but because your presence carved itself into his heart. That's the undeniable proof. You're not just someone in his world. You are the one who changes it.